If you had to do these all over again, what would you change?
So I'll go first. So we would have done a proof of concept on our data set.
Okay.
And we would have realized that where we didn't have parity, like things like, being able to use constant currency, having multiple, like we had many alternate hierarchies for entity. Some of these things are just not possible because FCCS is meant for eliminations and consolidations. It shouldn't necessarily become the reporting tool for your organization, especially if you have a large amount of dimensions. You should only bring up, in my opinion, and I think the way it was built was only to do those two things and do them very well, which they do, like we've mentioned before. But proof of concept your data set, right? If you say lift and shift, try lift and shift first. Give yourself that extra month. It's hard to do, but give yourself some time so that way you can analyze and understand how the data should look up in that product and then be pushed to other products. For instance, if you want to push eliminations to another product, do that, right, for reporting. Things of that nature is understand the full breadth of your products, understand what each one's supposed to do. Because if your data set is large, FCCS can handle it, but it's going to be a journey that you and also, like Richard said, and we see here, is that over time it'll get a little bit slower just because the data set's going to grow.
Right. What about you, Richard? What would you change if you had to, hindsight, look at back and say, oh, we should have done that a little bit different?
You want to send people to grab lunch and come back first, or But in short, I think, if I would have done it all over again, by nature, I think just because I think that I'm not sure the audience background, but both John and I come off from a HFM, application going to FCCS. I think there's a lot of expectation that biasly set up that thinking FCCS is HFM, but reality is not. So what I would probably do is really truly lay out all your function that you have customized today in HFM, and then just kind of map it out, right? That's it. How does it work in FCCS? Like some of the things we talked about, we end up spending a lot of time doing data mining and all of that, thinking, okay, I thought it's supposed to work like FCC, it's supposed to work like HFM, but in reality it's not. With that, also come out with the movement dimension, right? So that's where the cash flow report comes to play. So I'm wishing we can involve, that side of the house earlier, because many shops I've been to that, helping other folks is cash flow usually is an offline process. And then, but movement dimension that helps introduce that to become more system-driven process. So I wish I can involve my controller earlier, just to understand the cash flow process, so that we can map out the movement dimension to see what can be done. It's one of those kind of like I wish I could have done this way of time, but then now we just went cutting short in our project's time, and then again we're not able to really truly utilize all the movement dimension. But I think this is something I would go back and start this process much earlier, and especially often our business partner always busy with closing and all that. You only can get so much of their time, so just get that out as early as possible if you have that offline process going.
I appreciate it, you guys.